Hey everybody, it's Mr. Patel. We are going to be working on our nutrition unit and specifically here looking at assessment statements 3.1 and 3.1.2. And I think this is going to be a really interesting unit for all of us. So let's get going here kind of with the basics. So really, we have to kind of determine what the importance of food is for growth. And so we've got this little diagram here that helps us understand what the relationship between nutrition, health, and the environment really is. So, we eat a lot of different types of food, and we've always been told we have a choice of what we're going to eat and what we're going to drink. But it's not only influenced by our biological needs, it's also influenced by the environment, quality, quantity, the balance of food supply even. So let's kind of look here at this diagram. We have external environment, which typically influences our nutritional requirements and also interacts with our internal environment. But then these nutritional requirements have a whole bigger impact. You can see it has an impact on all these three areas. So here are some examples of an external environment. External environment would be items like religion. Certain religions don't eat certain types of foods or are forbidden to eat certain types of foods or even touch them. We could talk about culture. We think about the Black American who really, especially the Black American male or African American male, they have a high-fat diet. They eat a lot of fried foods like fried chicken and fried shrimp and blah, 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 blah. So we could also look at politics, the impact of genetically modified foods, education or the lack of education. There are a lot of people who just don't understand the basics of food and food science and how to shop. Health service, are people only available, do people only have basic health services available to them because of their financial needs? Which could lead us into social status and food security or insecurity, and the agriculture of the place that you live in. So those are all external environments. Then we have internal environments. This is what's happening inside your body. So think about what uses nutrients. The creation of DNA and RNA, those amino acids which come from proteins. Our cells use all kinds of different nutrients. Specifically, they use glucose, just the sugar comes from carbohydrates. Our organs do different things. For example, our liver and our kidneys filter a lot of nutrients and chemicals. General metabolism, whether you have a hyperthyroid or a hypothyroid, the rate at which we actually do metabolic processes, and then our own blood circulation, having iron to carry oxygen. Nutritional requirements kind of go along the lines of growth and development. That's, I think, a big one. But then think about when a mother is pregnant. That mother is required to feed the baby that they're producing, and so that process of lactation and providing all the correct nutrients for the baby has an impact and is impacted by both external and internal environment. And also that has an impact on the nutritional status. Oh, and I should really also say about nutritional requirements, we should really talk about what's the nutritional requirement for appropriate sport and exercise. And maybe even for the elderly, if you think back to what we were discussing with diabesity and age, bone density and all that. The specific diets do specific things. The nutritional status is nourishment. Are you optimum in nourishment? Are you malnourished? Maybe you're undernourished or even perhaps overnourished. If you're overnourished, you're going to have some kind of disease, like you're going to be obese and then you're going to have heart attack and diabetes. If you're undernourished, you might have some kind of disease. If you're optimal, then we're really looking at a nice, healthy individual. Okay, so enduring understanding here is looking at food provides the basis for growth, development, and physical performance. And what we really want to focus our energy on is how can diet affect the performance? And what are the basic structures and functions of the nutrients, not the parts of the body that process the nutrients. We're really wanting to know on the biochemical level what the nutrients are made up of, and what do they do, and how do they function within the body. All right, take a moment here to pause the video, and I want you to really take a few minutes and look through these vocabulary terms. Start with what you know, think about what you know, and then research things that you do not know. This is a great time to get used to the vocabulary so that you have an idea of what's coming ahead. So pause the video here and then restart when you're ready. So let's try and answer this first essential question on how can diet affect performance. And this is where we're really going to start focusing on macro versus micronutrients. So first, what's a nutrient? A nutrient is a substance that's needed for growth, even metabolism and general bodily functions. And we break those into macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients we've talked about that are large are your nutrients that provide some kind of calorie or energy. And those are your carbohydrates, your lipids, and your fats, the big molecules that we have here. Then we have micronutrients. Micronutrients are going to be more along the lines that are of small amounts required by humans. They are required to orchestrate a wide variety of physiological functions, but are not necessarily made by humans. So this will be your vitamins and your minerals and water. Now, sometimes you get into an argument between water could be a macronutrient, but water also could be a micronutrient. And so generally, I believe that water is a macronutrient, but it's up for debate. Okay. So going along with what we've learned so far, I want you to think about outlining the functions of each of the macronutrients and functions of micronutrients. So just pause here again. Think back at the various lectures we've had on what this might look like and what this means. Go ahead and pause the video and really look for this information, because I want to see what you have. Once you're ready, move on to the next slide. So this is a fantastic chart in your course companion. It's on page 52, but what it does, it takes each of the macronutrients and micronutrients, and it tells you where we find these, each nutrient. And then what's even better is it gives you the specific functions for each. And you probably want to transcribe this information into your notes so that you have it for reference later on. So in our next screencast, we'll get into what are the basic structures and functions of nutrients that are critical to bodily functions, specifically looking at macronutrients, and even more specific, we're going to be looking at the different carbohydrates that are available, and what carbohydrates are made of and how they work, what kind of energy they produce. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you and talk to you at the next screencast.